Throughout all of human history, art has been used as a way to reflect the highs and lows of our species. Two pieces of work that I will be using to investigate the different reflections of our past are The Ransom by John Everett Millais and Bullfight Suerte de Varas by Francisco José de Goya. While these two paintings couldn't be farther apart on subject matter and style, both of these paintings offer insights into some of the themes of humankind. Some of these themes include power dynamics, conflict, and resilience. Both pieces are able to show great emotion, but portrayed in far different ways. My essay aims to compare these 19th century paintings by examining their thematic elements, the cultural context in which they are created, and the overall visual composition. The first painting I want to dive into is The Ransom, painted by John Everett Millais in 1860 to 1862. Before getting into this painting itself, let's look at the artist, John Everett Millais. Millais was born into a wealthy family and became something of a child prodigy. In 1840, he was admitted to the Royal Academy schools as their youngest ever student, winning a silver medal in 1843 for drawing from the antique and a gold medal in 1847 for his painting The Tribe of Benjamin Seizing the Daughters of Shiloh. He first exhibited at the Royal Academy in 1846. He lived a very successful 67 years as an artist, creating illustrations and publications, and creating portraits for all sorts of interesting people. These portrayed people range from a blind girl with her mother in a rainstorm, all the way to Shakespeare's Ophelia floating down the river. To me, it seemed that he painted people and things that interested him, and by doing so, he was able to include far more emotion in his paintings. The Ransom is a painting that is completely fictional and is used to set a scene rather than tell a true story. This scene is of a 16th century knight being reunited with his kidnapped daughters. On the left of the painting, there appears to be a steward reaching into his front pocket to get out what is presumably more gold. We can see the knight offering jewelry, but it appears that it might not be enough for his kidnappers. While this is a completely fake story created by the artist, he did use some real people that he knew as the models for the painting. The amount of emotion that he captures in each of their faces is what really tells the full story here. The father still looks worried even though he has his daughters back, and the steward still looks highly concerned as he reaches into his pocket. It looks like he knows that this isn't the end of the exchange, while the three kidnappers look calm and like they may have done this before. The artist leaves the viewer concerned about what has become of the knight and his two daughters by using very clear facial expressions. The next piece of art I want to take a look at is Bullfight Suerte de Varas by Francisco de Goya. I had the pleasure of seeing this piece at the Getty Museum in Los Angeles in March of 2024. This painting was on a much smaller canvas than most in the exhibit, yet to me, carried much more emotion and energy than any of the others in the room. Goya is considered to be a true legend of the art world. His profound artistic vision and technical prowess earned him the title of both the father of modernism and the last of the old masters. Goya's works span various genres, including portraiture, history painting, printmaking, and his art captured the tumultuous transition from the Enlightenment to the Romantic era. To be included in the list of the old masters, and on top of that, to be the final member is truly a remarkable feat. His style and technique were groundbreaking at the time, and throughout his time as an artist, became more and more expressive. Bullfight, Suerte de Varas, is a piece that was painted towards the end of his career, so needless to say, he had some very creative techniques when he did this one. Both artists use completely different styles on these two paintings. The Ransom is doing everything it can to look as real as possible, and thus shows real emotion through the faces of the painting subjects. This painting's traditional feel is a stark contrast to the style of Bullfight, Suerte de Varas. Goya used a heavy loaded brush, a palette knife, a rag, and even his fingers to apply the paint to the canvas. Thick black strokes of paint suggest tension and movement, while dark shadows in the faceless crowd in the background lend an ominous air to this emotional confrontation. This painting is clearly a gruesome scene, but the techniques used are able to portray the scene as something even more foul. Goya was able to get the men in the arena to look frantic by having them point in every direction with wide eyes, while the bull is looking calm, even with a chunk missing out of his neck. The light and lines in this painting are greatly used to show us who the real subject of this painting is and how they are feeling. The crowd in the background appears a frantic mess. The men in the arena appear to be scrambling to finish the bull, and the bull seems indifferent towards the men. The bull appears to be standing in a spotlight, which Goya uses to show that the animals are the real victims in these bullfights. While these paintings couldn't be farther apart on subject matter and style, both are great representations of the human condition and some of the intricacies that come with being a human. Both paintings show a darker side of humankind, with one showing the potential conclusion of a kidnapping and the other showing the conclusion of pointless violence towards animals as sport. Thank you. My name is Jack Ray. Thank you for watching my student art critic video for Art 315 at Cal State Northridge. Any work cited will be in the description of the video. Thanks again.